Hello, everybody. Good evening. And I'm Suzanne Shirley, and we are on tonight live on our next to last version of What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. This is the next to last meeting, and we are currently going to cover chapters 18, 19, and 20. We're going to be dealing with solving problems with accomplishing goals. That's one of the topics tonight. We're going to be also talking about, which is, by the way, a very interesting chapter, internal motivation. And then situational self-talk, which is really sort of a no-brainer. It's one of the easiest ways that you can talk to yourself. These are fascinating chapters. Why? Because this is the meat and potatoes of learning how to make yourself into some self-talk and how to really get the context together in grouped phrases, and it's opened my mind because as I listen to my Think Up app with my personal affirmations on it, I've got like 5 different affirmations for organization and time management. I have 5 different affirmations for something else and something else. And then I'm now realizing that 5 affirmations for time management is not nearly enough. I've got to have a sequence and a group of 12 meat and potato things that are very, 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 very specific in me dealing with self-talk, getting myself to be personally organized with time management and consistency. So one of the biggest goals that you had this whole last week in the 90-day challenge was that you were to come up with 3 of your biggest problems or challenges that you're dealing with. You might have listed all of your things out. I would say my top 2 is time management and consistency. Now, consistency needs to be in every area of our life, right? Now, I'm talking about consistency in my business. I really have consistency down in lots of places with eating food. I really do well with it in long periods of time, and then I just go off the wagon. Okay, so it just depends on, but I can be consistent with my food. I've learned how to be consistent with working out. You know what? I think a lot of it has to do with what we value. And if we don't see the massive value in consistency, then we're not going to be that way. So whatever our challenges are, we have to come up with meat and potatoes, phraseology and verbiage. That's 12 big sentence structures that are going so that we can talk to ourselves specifically about the things that we're dealing with. I listened to that the other day and I was like, there is no way that that's enough talking to myself so that I can become consistent in my business. I've gotten a lot of it down, but I need to still improve. So there you go. That's what we needed to come up with. And you need to come up with the actual sentence structures. Come up with something you can copy and paste, anything that you are working on. If you find something in the book that's very, very important to you, use that from the book. I know for a fact personally that I'm going to take some of the phraseology and things that are from the chapters because those are some topics I need to work on. And I'm going to actually take, there is I'm going to show you what this is. It's an app on your phone, and it's called Voice Memos. If you have an iPhone, it's called, see that? Voice Memos. Okay, it's a little app like that. It comes on the iPhone. I don't know if it comes on. I'm sure there's some sort of an app that you can come up with if you don't have the iPhone. But you need to record yourself with that self-talk per topic. Like a whole 5 minutes of just personal organization and time management, a whole 5 minutes of eating right, a whole 5 minutes of exercise, a whole 5 minutes of whatever challenge you're dealing with, okay? And that's what I'm going to say right now, that needs to get recorded, and you need to start listening to yourself, write it down, and start saying that stuff every day, okay? I don't want to spend 15 hours on this, but I want to get through this, all right? By the way, welcome, Carol. I see you on tonight. Awesome. Welcome, Nancy, Angela, Brandy Lambert joined us. Brandy, I love you to pieces. Thinking about you, loving you tonight. So glad you joined us. I bet you're going to need this tonight. Glad you're here. Kathy, Michael, so glad you guys are here. Arizona Mike. Awesome. Okay, so problems go hand in hand with goals. Instead of calling them problems, why don't we call them challenges? Because the word problem has a connotation that it can't be solved. A challenge can be solved. And we need to have a mindset that says, there's an answer, I'm going to find it. There's a way to work this out. I'm going to find it. What is that answer? And so we're going to call these challenges. Okay. So to your subconscious mind, seeing yourself overcoming a challenge, solving a problem, and reaching a goal, it's the exact same set of directions that's required. And the self-talk is the same. So goals is not really we talk about goals and people think that it's like an exalted word, like it means something way more than what it really is. And so I think that people don't set goals. I know I was one of those. Don't set goals because we think that it's impossible to accomplish them. I mean, it just seemed like such a lofty thing to be setting goals all the time. I will tell you this, I get on the phone with my coach every 2 weeks. First thing he asks me, did you accomplish your goals from last month? And the next thing he asks me is, what are your personal goals this month? And I have all kinds of goals. I have weekly, daily goals for work, literally work that I'm going to be doing. I have those goals. I have weekly goals for how many calls I'm going to get on the phone with prospects. I need to make sure I'm on the phone with 3 people a week. That's my goal. If I hit 2, that's good. I have personal sponsoring and recruiting goals for the month. And I know sometimes by certain dates that I want to accomplish them by certain dates. So, you know, I have work goals and I have productivity goals. You guys got to start setting some goals. If you don't, you're never going to get anywhere in your business. You're going to be spinning your wheels and not concentrating on what you're doing. Like, how many people do you want to reach out to a week? Okay, break it down. How many people per day? And then it needs to get done. Accomplish your work and your activity goals, and your productivity will take care of itself. Even if it's not that month, you will eventually get those goals taken care of. So the word has been misinterpreted, the word goals. It's been put up on a pedestal too much. Like, for example, the word success, a lot of the times people think it means winning. Success is not winning. Okay, are you winning at something right now? Most likely not. But are you successful right now? Absolutely. Why are you successful? You're on this call. Why are you successful? You showed up and did the work this week. Why are you successful? You're consistent. You're persistent through tragedies and things happening in your life. All right, awesome. That's great. So success is even misinterpreted. It's been misused. The word goal has been misused and misinterpreted, misunderstood. Setting goals needs to be a simple thing, all right? Little bitty goals, like I just talked, 3 people a day. Reach out to your 3. Follow up with 3. Make a goal weekly to get on the phone with 2 to 3 people. I mean, those are goals, little goals, little goals. They add up. The goals of everyday life, getting to the gym, eating right, drinking water. Those are everyday little goals, right? So our goals should not be limited to setting short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Your goals can be anything you choose. Don't just limit yourself to just short-term, medium-term, and long-term. They can literally be of any date range, whatever that you choose. So what are your goals? What are they? Have you written them down? Here's some examples, okay? Having some more free time. Getting to church more regularly, running a better household, getting better grades, having better personal relationships, being healthier, maybe having a better marriage, going to the symphony, writing a letter home, sending flowers. Okay, some of these are old because this book is back from the 80s, right? Who writes letters anymore? I'm sorry. That's the truth. Looking for a class reunion, smiling more often, having a better attitude, conquering your slice in golf, catching more fish. Okay, they can be recreational goals, whatever the case may be. So if you want to achieve your goals, you have to give yourself the right directions. So the right words, take advantage of your own mind's natural dedication to do for you what you tell it the most. So you're going to have to tell yourself your goals over and over. Okay? And as I say this, I know that I have daily and weekly goals. But my problem is I'm thinking right now, I have long-term goals that are on my ThinkUp app. I have long-term rank achievement goals, yearly goals that are on here. Like, for example, I will earn Leaders Retreat 2017. That's one of them. I will drive my Lexus in 2017. I will earn Emerald 2017. I even have a date for that. I've moved the date to May. I mean, I'm going to run for it until July. I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing. But that should not, I mean, my goal should be, I'm going to sponsor 5 people this month, in the month of May. I'm going to get on the phone with 3 people this week. I'm going to talk to 18 people Monday through Friday. I'm going to talk to 3 people a day, Monday through Saturday, 3 people a day. You know, they need to be on our personal affirmations, our goals. Your programming, you got to get that programming, because the more programming your brain receives to help you reach the objective that you present it with, the more you're going to move in that direction. So talking to self right here, I need to get my short-term, daily, and weekly goals on the on my affirmations. Okay, I'm sorry for my dog barking. How we look at our problems plays an important role in what we do about them. So do we analyze, avoid, confront, or go around, or actually solve them? Because every single one of our problems, or what we call challenges, can be solved. There's an answer. It doesn't make any difference to our internal computer what the problem is or how big it is, but what we tell ourselves about our problems, okay, that will affect every action that we take from the moment forward. So change how you think about your attitude. Change how you think and your attitude about solving problems. So on page 156 and 157 in the hardback version of the book, he lists an attitude type phraseology that you can be using on your focus on how you look at solving problems. Trust me, if you get that into verbal affirmations and start listening to that, wow, you're going to change a mindset. Your whole mindset's going to be different about when anything comes your way, you're going to have this feeling inside of you that you can figure it out. And even if for a moment or even a few minutes or even an hour or two, you think this is impossible, if you start reprogramming your brain to have a different attitude towards solving problems, you're going to break through that and go, this can be done. I can get through this. I'm going to find an answer. I'm good at solving problems. I like challenges and I meet them head on. Problems are my teachers. They help me to learn and grow. Without them, I would be going nowhere. With them, I'm moving forward in the direction of my own goals. Have you thought about the book Failing Forward, John Maxwell? I mean, this is self-talk for attitude problem solving. You need to apply this. I mean, it's a gold mine here. I would almost suggest to you that every time you have these italicized words that are, I mean, seriously, plug them into your affirmations. Start using them. It's right out of the book. Why not? There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. I know I'm going to be doing that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So if you were to do nothing more than read that one example of a self-talk script to yourself 3 to 4 times each day for a week or two, 3 to 4 times a day for a week or two, right? By the end of that time, you would begin to see your own problems differently. Even though the examples of self-talk we have just used to do not tackle a specific problem. They don't tackle a specific problem. It's your attitude and looking at how you're going to solve your problems. So it only deals with your general approach at solving them, all right? So let's identify a problem. So now we've got to get specific. What is a specific problem? I just told you a couple of mine. Being consistent in my business. And what else did I say? Time management. Time management and being consistent. So time management for me means including getting up early. Time management means including getting some prayer in. Time management includes stop doing something that wastes my time. Time management includes a lot of stuff. So we've got to come up with a set of things, sentences that address those specific problems. Okay. So he gives an example of new programming on the problem of getting organized. Okay. This is a gold mine. But if you'll look at the different structures of sentences for getting organized, one of them is a whole thing on just time management. One of them is in being in control of your life each day. One of them is setting priorities and making lists. Another one is just showing up on time. Another set of phrases or sentences is controlling your feelings and emotions about your getting organized. Another one is controlling your actions. Another one is controlling your mind and thoughts. Okay, look at that. Control of your destiny, control of your achievement and your goals. I mean, look, it's a no-brainer. You've got to have specifics if you're going to get to your real goal. If you really want to get organized, getting organized means a lot of stuff. It means when I take something out of where it came from, I put it back to where it came from after I'm finished using it. It means all kinds of things. It means not leaving things laying around on the counter. It means having a special place for everything. It means so many things, right? It means not leaving your things in the car. It means not scattering things around on the counter. It means having a file system on your computer. It means having a file structure for every single person in your business, or having notebooks assigned for each topic, or having a calendar that you use that you keep to. All right, the value and importance of directness. The more simple and the more point to your self-talk, the better it works. So the overall problem, you need to come up with the overall problem. Could be like weight loss, any other category that you can think of. Here's some categories, for example. Getting started mentally. Willpower, being healthy and feeling good, sitting down to eat, controlling between meal snacks, hiding behind your weight, getting past weight loss barriers, keeping weight off. I mean, all of those things can be categories to things that you want to work on, and you've got to come up with a script. You've got to have a written script that deals with each and every part and facet and area of the particular problem you're dealing with. And if you don't come up with each facet of each part of that problem, might as well forget it. You're not going to master it, because that problem is too big to be mastered in your mind without really getting specific. Okay, I think I've made that point. He gives an example of sitting down to eat. It's a whole script, facet by facet by facet, of sitting down to eat. All right? Who knew that it took that much talk to sit down and eat right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think I skipped over that. Okay, so there's more than just sitting down to eat. It's what do you do when you sit down to eat? It's a lot of the things that you're doing. All right, so once you become conditioned to making that simple shift in what you say to yourself, the new self-directions come up without even thinking about them. Be specific to fix the problem. Okay, now I put double stars out on the side on this one. The key to good self-talk is that it covers the problem, but it gets specific. Broad, generalized affirmations of well-being are fine when you're working on creating a broad, generalized attitude. But when you want to fix the problem, you gotta fix the problem. All right? When you want to achieve a precise goal, even those little ones, you got to give yourself precise commands. And that's his point here, okay? So I think I made that point. Your expectations can actually happen. You have to believe in your mind and in your soul that you can do this using this technique. This is proven. I'm telling you, some of the greatest gurus in the industry, Tony Robbins, every single person on the mastermind stage, I can guarantee you, that's gone to the top of their company, has learned how to talk to themselves. And they deal with their self-talk every single day. It's proven. It can happen quickly. So what about internal motivation? Let's talk about that. And we talked about external motivation several chapters ago. Okay, so motivation, meaning emotion. Emotions have motivators and demotivators. But your emotions are the crux or the baseline of where you're going to have motivation. And if you're going to get anything done, it has to come from inside. You have to want it. I told my coach today on the phone, he said, what do you need from me, Suzanne? He asked me my goals. He asked me a whole bunch of questions. And I said, look, I got down because I didn't accomplish my rank up achievement goal last month. I got down for one evening. I decided I'm going to close it out. I'm going to bed. Tomorrow's a new day and we're going to move on. I decided to myself, look, self, are you still retired from teaching? Yes. Self, do you have to be stressed out on a daily basis, burning your candle at both ends? No, I'm not. I'm retired. Self, do you have the freedom of going into the gym whenever you want? Yes. Self, do you get to enjoy new classes and training and inspire people at the gym? Yes. Self, is your income coming up every single month? Yes. Self, do you have health that's off the charts? Yes. Okay. It's easy. I motivated myself within about 5 minutes. I just started talking to myself and said, we're not going to get down because we didn't accomplish a goal this month. Big woo. Is it going to happen? Yeah. When it happens, I don't know, but it's going to happen and I'm going to make it happen. I told that to my coach on the phone today. I said, you don't need to motivate me. I motivate myself. And if you had to motivate me, there's no way I can be a diamond in this company. Okay? I don't need you to help me with personal growth and development because I know I got to do it on my own. And if if you're having to tell me what to do and train me on that, then I'm already done before I'm starting here. So he's like, well, what can I help you with, Suzanne? I said, you can look into my reports and shoot me some texts and some emails on some things that I'm not seeing going on and trends on my team. And that way I can focus more. And he said, good, I'm going to be the eyes and ears of behind the scenes on your team. I mean, because what else can he do for me? There's not a lot much more he can do. Okay. He can teach me how to repopulate Excel documents so I can make my own reports. Other than that, he holds me accountable maybe. But I told him even that. I said, Dave, you can sit here and hold me accountable, but I tell you what, I hold myself accountable and I'm my worst critic. Okay, I got self goals. I've got personal goals. You can say you're holding me accountable. That's great, but I'm holding myself accountable. And I said, but go ahead and feel free to do it. I'm just telling you, you got to have internal motivation. That was my talk on internal motivation. You got to have it or else you're never going to get anywhere in life. Okay, I'm moving over. You got to get down to specifics of how you talk to yourself to motivate yourself. Like I just told you, I gave you some examples. I specifically talked to myself to get myself out of that funk that I went into like in a matter of moments when I realized it wasn't going to happen. Okay. You got to start talking to yourself. Okay. What about external motivators? There are so many external motivators in our lives, they're not even human. These things really don't even care whether we make it or not. What do I mean by that? Here's some external motivators. The boss, right? Your bank loan that's coming due, your mortgage payment, the dinner next Friday you agreed to go to but did not want to attend, the orthodontist appointment, the pile of unfinished paperwork sitting on your desk, a midterm exam, Frankie, yes, she's going to watch this video, a favorite television program, a utility bill that needs to be paid, a ball game on Saturday. Those are external motivators. They externally motivate you to do something and to get into activity. All right? You've got to have a positive push. How do you have a positive push? You can't just let external things motivate you because if you wait for that to happen, you're not going to achieve your dreams. External motivators only get you just a certain place, a couple of places in your life. Basically, external motivators help you to accomplish daily goals, like daily life things, like get up out of bed, brush your teeth, put your clothes on, take a shower, go to work, finish this report, have it on my boss's desk by 9 a.m. But those aren't accomplishing your dreams, okay? Your dream accomplishing motivators have to come from within. They have to come from within. So you got to ask yourself these questions. Who's in control? Are you taking the responsibility for keeping yourself up? And are you going, okay, are you taking responsibility for keeping yourself up and going, or are you letting the circumstances of your daily living assume the responsibility for you? Are you carefully deciding what motivates you and what does not? Most importantly, are you being motivated by outside influences, or are you yourself the single most motivating factor in your own life? And that is the big one. If your boss is motivating you, the bank loan, the mortgage loan, the paper that's due, the test you got to study for, I'm sorry. Yes, those things have to be done, but those are daily living things. Those don't get you to your dreams. You've got to take responsibility for your internal motivation. It's got to be there. Internal does not require the aid of anyone else. Any assistance or support from somebody or something else that is doing the real motivating for us. So our self-motivation is the motivation which comes from having a sense of what? Purpose. A why that's making you cry, that's bigger than you. You're desperate to do this. You're desperate to achieve this. A sense of self-esteem and self-determination that goes beyond all external motivation. Okay? So, it's something that everybody needs. Okay? You've got to have this. Everybody needs it. I don't want to read stuff that's not important. You got to have self-reliance. Self-reliance. The problem is that most of us learn to rely on external motivators. I remember Sonia Dudley talking about, okay, this next big meeting, I'm going to go and I'm going to get inspired and my business is going to change. I'm going to go to that. Okay, convention's coming up. I am going to listen to Les Brown. I am going to hear what he has to say. Kerry Wilkerson is going to give me a new word. And guess what? I'm going to come out of there and I'm going to rank up. Okay, those are all great. Those are great things to go to. But as soon as you finish listening to Les Brown, as soon as you've closed your notebook and stopped taking notes from Kerry Wilkerson, she's going to go back and build her business. What are you going to do with yours? Are you going to motivate yourself, or are you going to still have to go back and listen to more Kerry Wilkerson before you can get motivated again? You know, you got to, there's something that's got to give. You've got to have some self-reliance. Okay? People who are the most successful at whatever they do are those who are at their own best motivators. Think about Bill Gates. Do you think he needs an external motivator? He's got a big why. I think from what I have read about Bill Gates and listened to his talks, he is a philanthropist. He really wants to help people around the world with all sorts of situations. And he likes to fund that stuff. He is also very political. And he likes to donate to his political campaign type stuff. Okay? Those are his big internal motivators. He also loves technology and his passion for, the new frontier in technology. So he's got a lot of big whys. Have you listened to the big whys of some of the greatest thinkers on this planet? Start understanding that the reason that they're so successful is because they've got it on the inside. No one's having to tell them to get going. There is nothing that motivates them from the outside. In the end, it's all them, okay? It's all them. Since our emotions are our motivators, the emotion must be...
When I talk to you about this kind of stuff...
I'm going to mute again. Somebody just unmuted. Okay. Okay. Somebody's unmuted. Okay. It was Brandy. I gotcha. All right. So... since our emotions are our motivators, the emotion must be changed or redirected before the motivation can take place. The same is true of motivating yourself. All right. We've got to be general and not specific. This talk right down here that's on page 169 and 170, 171, okay, I am going to tell you right now that needs to get into a personal recording. This is talking about general motivation that you're going to be able to use to motivate yourself on a daily basis. This is going to help you to recharge your self-motivators, okay? I can do anything that I believe I can do. I've got it. And every day I get more of it. I've got talent, skills, and ability. Okay. I set goals and I reach them. I know what I want out of life and I go after it. And guess what? I get it. Okay. People like me and I feel good about myself. I've got a great sense of pride in who I am and I believe in myself. I mean, it's going to feel weird listening to that stuff, especially if you're not used to hearing these amazing things about yourself, which I'm going to just be honest with you. You ready? They're true. They are true. I'm going to stop right here and just tell you there's a girl that I talked to today. And she said, whatever you do, don't give up on me. I've been talking to her for over a year. I'm going to be honest with you. That's what I heard today from a girl. And I said to her, I said, whatever you do, don't you ever think I will give up on you. And I said, do you want to know why? And she said, why? And this was all in a text because we haven't talked on the phone yet. She hasn't given me her phone number yet, but we will. We'll get on the phone. I said, because you are a human being who has great potential, gifts and talents and skills that are deep within inside of you that God has placed there, but you don't see them yet. And I see them. Okay? So I said, that's why I'm not going to give up on you. And I meant it. It's not about the sale with me. You know what? I told somebody else today, I said, I don't need your sale and I don't need you to join me. If you want to take more of a look at this and see what this is that I have to offer you, if it's for you, great. I would love to have you join me. If it's not, then great. It's okay. It'll be totally fine if you decide not to join me. Do I mean that? You better betcha I do. I don't need people to join me and I don't need people's money and I don't need their sale and I don't need them to join my team. What I want to do is I want to help folks who want my help. So, and a lot of the times we're telling people what our purpose is when we talk to them about product. We're telling people what our why and our purpose is in doing this when we share with them the business opportunity. So you've got to show that to people. I don't know why I got off on that, but you're talking about your own self-worth and you need to believe that you have that self-worth and you need to preach that to yourself every day and you will be unstoppable. Be your own best friend. Look, I wrote that. Be your own best friend. Because guess what? Some of you don't have a friend that's good enough to you. You don't have somebody that's telling you these things. You need to be the person that tells yourself that stuff. Because why? It's true. It's true, okay? Believe me when I say it's true. And every person I'm talking to, I'm looking at names right here on the side of my screen. That's you. I know every single one of you. I've had personal conversations with you guys. I know your hearts. I know your dreams. I know your gifts and talents. And when I think about those names I'm looking at right here, I almost have tears in my eyes because I know how much you are worth and I know your value and I know what you have and I know what you can do. So you need to believe that in yourself. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to pour into yourself because some of you don't have anybody pouring into you. You've got to pour into yourself. And I know I'm on a soapbox right here. Why? Because if you don't, you are never going to have anything to give to anybody else. You're going to be out. The tank is empty, guys. If you don't pour into you, you have nothing to give to your customers, to the people on your team, to your potentials, to the lady that tells you, don't give up on me. Okay? You're going to have nothing to give her and you're going to sound like a salesperson. Give life to your self-talk. How are you saying it? Are you just going through the motion saying the words, yeah, I'm a good person, I believe in myself, blah, 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 blah. Are you saying it with passion? Are you saying it with conviction? What are you saying? How are you doing it? Okay? All right. If you are by yourself, stop for a moment, turn back a page or two, and reread those same words, this time out loud. Give yourself permission to suspend your disbelief in yourself. Give yourself permission to suspend it. Get your doubts aside, set them aside, and for just a few moments, speak to yourself as though you were the single, get this, the single most important person in the world. That's heavy. And he says, you are that, you know. You are. And you are. And you are. And you are. And you are. Mike, Kathy, Angela, Carol, Brandy, Jessica, Kelly, Lori, Susie, Nancy, and everyone else who's listening on this video, you are important. You are amazing. And you've got to say these things to yourself, okay? Be your own best friend. Give your subconscious more. Give it more. Start by making the conscious decision to demand that the internal you listens carefully. I'm on page 173 now. Here's some affirmations. I know that greatness begins in the minds of the great. I know that what I believe about myself is what I will become. So I believe in the best for myself. I am practical and realistic. I keep my feet on solid ground, but I also give myself the freedom to live up to my fullest expectations. I mean, you got to get really get out there and give it some more. I'm telling you, get these things recorded. Start listening and saying them. Create a winner in yourself. Create a winner in yourself. Olympic athletes, how do you think they win gold medals? Do they just go through the practice and go through the motions? Heck no. They've got to talk to themselves every day when their body is telling them, stop, you're killing me here. I'm dying, okay? I haven't slept. I don't feel energized, and I'm beat up. I got bruises all over me. My joints are killing me. My brain tells me I cannot do this. The competition is bigger than ever. What am I doing? What am I thinking? You understand it's a mind game. It's a mind game, and you've got to create a winner within yourself. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to be like an Olympic medalist, and you're going to create a winner in yourself by motivating yourself to perform at your highest peak. All right? I don't want to read all this stuff because I feel like what I'm telling you is out of my heart here. You got to be able to get up when things are down. Sales field, okay? Yeah, we can call ourselves salespeople. In a sense, we are, because we go through the motions of sales, but really what we're doing is we're building rapport, we're building trust, we're building relationships, and we go through the phases of sales, but really what we're doing is we're building relationships, right? So the number of times that salespeople are turned down, every time the competition wins, somebody else loses. In the mind of a salesperson who lost the sale, that loss represents a failure, okay? Because of this, the field of sales creates the largest demand for skilled professional motivators. So in the sales field, that's why you've got all these motivators, right? Each of us relies on selling. We got to sell ourselves, our ideas, and we nearly every day, we have to sell those things to our own adult lives. Self-talk for persuading others. We've got to go into this whole thing is a phraseology, prospecting, making presentations, overcoming objections internally, follow through, keeping up when the chips are down. This whole section right here that's on page 176 and 7 and 178 is all self-talk for selling. So it's keeping you in the mix here. Wonderful set of phraseology that Shad Helmstedder has given to us. It's too easy because of our old programming to slip into the old self-talk demotivators of complaints excuses, and doubts, right? All the reasons necessary to place the blame for failure and underachievement on someone or something else. The sales manager, the company, the commission structure, the competition, sideline, upline, downline, the website, the whatever, okay? We can blame everything. Instead of igniting that spark of self-belief, too many of us, just like many salespeople in their own careers, solve the day's problems by avoiding the action. They solve problems by avoiding action that we know that we should take. Instead of spending a few minutes engaged in high productivity activity of motivating ourselves to take action, we engage ourselves in taking ourselves out of action. Okay, into having another cup of coffee, for crying out loud, watching another 15 minutes of television, scrolling through Facebook 15 more minutes. Oh, I think I'll stack up some more posts that I can put on Facebook here. No, we need to go ahead and prospect some folks. Forget posting on Facebook. What's more important? Scrolling Facebook and stacking up some posts for later dates, or getting out and reaching out and following up with some people? Okay, there's a sleeping giant within you guys. And you need to know that. It seeks and needs the light that never fails. What is that light? The motivation that comes from within you. Okay? If you feed it each day in just the right way, it's going to become the part of you that will conquer your fears. It's going to conquer them. It's going to slay the dragons. And it's going to carry us into our victories. Doesn't that sound magical? Don't you want that? Slaying your dragons, achieving your victories. It's a magical genie of untold powers, impatiently waiting for its release. Think about that. Your mind is so powerful. If you just tell it what to do, it will do it. It is the essential self-fulfilling part of each of us. It has been waiting a long time for us to tell it what to do. So just go ahead and indulge yourself. Give yourself an exciting treat. Let the giant loose. Tomorrow morning, go and wake it up. Go and wake up the sleeping giant. Internal motivation. I'm going to spend a very tiny amount of time. I'm not going to read anything off of here. I'm just going to talk to you briefly about situational self-talk. This is the simplest and most effective way that you can help yourself in everyday life. It can literally be accomplished immediately. You can self-talk yourself in a situation to where you can feel better immediately and you can start acting the right way and thinking the right way. Okay. And in fact, I already knew how to do this. In fact, I developed this self-talk. I'm just going to kind of talk to you here. I'm not going to read out of the book. Talks about people really complain about the weather. This is something they cannot control. People are driving around in traffic and somebody pulls in front of them. You can't control that. So how many people sit there and cry and complain about the weather? My mother, for example, will get in the car with me. Bless her sweetheart. I love her. She turns from a sweet woman who's in the middle of a story, telling me some story, and she's in the passenger seat because I will not drive with her because of this very thing. Okay. She's telling me about a story about something that happened at Bible study, right? Some really nice thing that goes on in her life. And then all of a sudden somebody will pull out in front of me, you blah, blah, blah. She just lets go of some expletives. She has her arms moving. And let me tell you something. If looks could kill, if she had a gun, that's why I won't drive with her. Because she loses control of her emotions. She literally loses control. And I'm like, hey, Mom, notice I'm using the brake pedal over here. Notice I'm applying the brake. We are all still alive. It's going to be okay. Look, Mom, it's not worth it. Do you know you're getting ready to have a heart attack? How's your blood pressure right now? It just raised about 50 points. Okay. Did I used to have a problem with this type of thing? Yeah, I'm the daughter of that mom I just told you about, which I love to pieces. She's amazing. But I used to lose my temper and lose my control of my emotions when life did not go my way. And I had worked hard for a certain situation to work out, and the chips fell out and something didn't work out, and I lost it. I can give you many different specific examples of it. And I mean, I could tell you some. I was driving down a street one time, and we're supposed to go out of the neighborhood a certain way. And all of a sudden they changed the signage to where you can't drive out that way. And I had forgotten that they changed the signage. Now, this is me back in my early 30s, okay? It's been a long time. I'm 46 right now. And I accidentally went down that road and went out the neighborhood the wrong way into traffic that they had changed the signage, and a cop pulled me over and gave me a $250 ticket. I was all nice to him, okay, and crying a little bit. But as soon as he got back into his car, I drove home a blubbering mess. And I came home, and my husband, who worked nights, was asleep, bless his little heart. And I woke him up, and I was a blubbering fool, and I just lost it. And I had friends, this is worse, sitting in the living room hearing me lose control. And I had to go in and apologize to them. Tom is saying to me, calm down. It's going to be fine, okay? I shouldn't have lost control, you know? Another example is me standing in my classroom. And this is many years ago. I was in my early 30s. This is before my heart attack, before my weight loss. Guys, I had won Teacher of the Year of my school. People had elected me. All my colleagues chose me for Teacher of the Year. And the newspaper man from the town was going to come over and interview me. And I had scheduled all these students to show up in my room at a particular time to come in and take some photos with me, situational photos. And I had written passes for each one of them to get out of their classes at a specific time. And I had handed them to, I called their teachers, I'd emailed them, I'd done all this stuff. And then the newspaper guy in the middle of one of my classes I was teaching gives me a call. I pick up the phone. He tells me, I'm sorry, I can't come that day. We'll have to set up another one. I lost it. I lost it in front of my students. Okay. I think I said a couple of curse words. I cursed a couple of words at the guy that called me on the phone. I literally lost my mind for a minute. I really lost control of my emotions. You know what happened as a result? A parent of one of my students, this is years ago, I'm so embarrassed to even talk about it. A parent of one of my students called the principal and told them that I was a crazy freak in class that day. Well, so I got called into the principal's office, and the principal told me, what in the world did you do? And I told him, and he said, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go into that class and you're going to apologize for acting a fool. And that principal was one of the worst maniacal guys I have ever in my life worked for. And it felt horrible having to take orders from him to go to my class and apologize for acting a fool. But I did it. And I learned my lesson. I need to calm the heck down. You know, life is not going to be over if you can't control something. Life is not going to be over. Another one, you want another situation? I got more where that came from. This will be the last one. It was probably that same year, maybe the next year. That principal that I didn't like, oh, he was something else. Let me tell you, he was something else. He was really not a fun guy. Okay, guys? He was like dictator 101. He hated women. I mean, you name it. You name something bad about a guy, and that was him. All right. If he's watching, oh, well, too bad, I'm retired. I'm just laughing right now. Okay. So one day I found out at the end of the year that I was going to have a schedule, that I was going to be able to, for the first time ever, teach upper level Spanish. I had worked so hard to get those classes and get those students. And what did he do? He took those students and he sent them to another school, and he made them ride a bus from our school and go to a different school to get the upper level classes. And I was stuck with all the lower level classes again. And I knew he did that to me on purpose, because I had just submitted to him the stats of why and how he could work this out, okay, to have them all on campus. And I will tell you this right now, when I found out that he was taking those classes away from me, you know what I did? I got so mad. I was something that I couldn't control. There was this beast that came up inside of me, and I stomped myself down that hall, and I was like, he can't fire me. There's no other Spanish teacher around. And I've got pains in my stomach just now thinking about it, all right? And I walked up to the office. I pulled open the door, and I went in his office, and I boom, boom, boom. And he was in there, and it was that way after school. It's like an hour after school. So there was very few people in there. And his secretary heard every word I said. I walked in there, and I said, how the heck dare you do this to me when you know I have earned this, blah, blah, blah. And I gave him point by point reason why he needed to do that. And you know what he did? He just sat there and went, he loved it because I had lost it. I was off in some other planet stratosphere. I mean, girlfriends and boyfriends, I'm telling you, I was nuts. I had lost control of my emotion. So situational self-talk should have come into play. Let me tell you something. A year after that, I lost all that weight. I lost 100 pounds. And then a couple of months after that, I had a heart attack. And I knew that at least half the reason I had a heart attack was my stress that I put on myself. Stress from not being able to control my emotions, not being able to self-talk myself into thinking a different way. When you have things that happen to you that are beyond your control, okay, own the emotion. You're upset. It's hurting. It's upset. It's stressful. You don't deserve this. This is unfair. How dare they do this to you? But then pull it in and say, look, am I still alive? Yes. Is this still, do I still have my job? Yes. I mean, hopefully it's not something that is taking your job away and your kids away from you. And, start thinking about the silver lining and start controlling yourself. Breathe deeply. Talk yourself into a better attitude, because you know what? You're going to kill yourself. And this is the easiest way. This is the easiest self-talk that you can apply in your own life so that you can be a successful person and handle every situation with a successful mindset. And with that, I'm going to close out. We're going to have our team discussion. I'm so glad. I hope somebody got something out of my personal vulnerabilities here tonight. I love all of you. Mwah. We're going to have our team discussion. See you next week for the last 3 chapters of the book.